These are messages from your stellar relatives. Reminders that you are not alone in the vastness of the cosmos. Message 1. Reality exists as a mirror. From our point of view, we are storytellers and are very pleased to have the opportunity to enter your reality, whether you are hearing our voices, reading our words, or are so finely tuned that you can listen to the silence of a summer's afternoon and hear our whisperings, echoes, our voices on the breeze. So, however you encounter us, it is our great pleasure to have your attention for a while. We are Pleiadians, or this is how we address ourselves. However, from your point of view, we are as difficult to name as you are from our point of view. You may appear to know yourselves. You have names, addresses, and certainly numbers that identify you. Perhaps shortly you will be chipped and programmed, hologrammed, automated, and turned into robotized beings. You are headed in this direction. Do you know who you are? We are a collective of energies, conscious and alive. We call home a small cluster of stars in the heavens known to you as the Pleiades. This cluster of stars has held a dear and important place in many cultures all over the globe, and some of you have traveled there or have wished to travel there or have remembered these stars in your dreams. Many native people have claimed a kinship to the Pleiades and to other star systems as well, since we are certainly not the only players in this tale. We are Pleiadians, and by some are reputed to be reputed to be kin to reptiles, to you in form. By others we are or blue in color, or shapeshifters, changing from one form to another. What is the answer? You may be asking. Well, we certainly find our home outside your world, and yet we are a part of your world. You are kin to us, and as kin we would like to share our perspective with you. As we view your world, we have the ability to look at time as if it is an ongoing diary and to pick any point in time and pursue it. This is not such an easy task, you know. There are those who hunt points in time, whose sole ambition is to locate places in time and enter into them. They are, by profession or aspiration, time jumpers, which is a concept that your world, late 20th and early 21st century Earth, is learning to grasp. There is an energy that is coming to your world now in massive waves, and in forms that are completely unrecognizable at this time, according to how your visual acuity is tuned. However, your other senses relay that you are living in the most absurd of times. Everything is topsy-turvy. You are in the collapse of your civilization, and this is why, as relatives and multidimensional beings related to you, we are here. Specifically, we want to share with you our perspective of what is occurring on your world. We think of ourselves as teachers and students, comrades and friends, and certainly as renegades. We like to define ourselves as systems busters and to seek out those in the family of light who are systems busters as well. We are all family of light, and all of you drawn to our words and energy know about family of light. You are one of us, and perhaps have heard our tales and wonder about their origin. We will tell you now about these tales, about what is happening to you. As you live from day to day, you wonder what is happening. Why is everything changing? Why is everybody going berserk? What does this mean? Why are deceit and lies the name of the game? Where is moral integrity? Where is responsibility? Where is reliability? Where is compassion? Where is friendship? Where is love? Where is marriage, partnership? Well, where are they? In a culture that is collapsing, in a culture that is turning itself upside down, these qualities are not there. You live in a time when you are pioneering a new territory, when a massive shift in perception will occur, and when the wealth of an age is upon you. When you gather that wealth, you will discover that what you gather will be your ability to shift your perceptions. This is why we are here at this time. In our aspiration to explore and wonder who we are and why our world is the way it is, we have discovered a way to reach into your world, the world that you call Earth. The world you live in is where a version of your attention is focused. However, there is so much more of you that you have not as yet met and explored. Our intention, in these most absurd of times, is to point out to you that these absurdities have a reason. You are about to shift from a very rigid, linear, restricted, and controlled way of living and expressing yourselves into an opening of perception, like a fan spreading open, to greater expression and function. Our intention is to jiggle your consciousness. You are much more than you have ever been told. Even to those of who have studied widely, considering yourselves adepts in the areas of mysticism, spirituality, shamanism, and the occult, we still say to keep your innocence, your humility, your respect, your reverence, and your purpose for living always available to expand. Without those attributes and with all you must now know, you will be blinded by your own light and closed off. This is, of course, the test that the absurdity of the times creates for all of humanity. Will you be able to shift your perceptions? Look at the various areas of life where it appears that your freedoms are becoming very restricted. You cannot freely express yourself or voice your opinion, and you must follow like sheep, doing what you are told. Money means nothing anymore. Automobiles are thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. Everything is priced outrageously high, from education to communication. Your homes are threatened. Can you afford your homes? Where will you get your food? It costs so much money to have fun these days. Children no longer play with sticks and stones or mud because they are afraid of the earth. You are told there are diseases everywhere, and so you have become terrified of your body, which has become rigid and closed down. Your relationships with friends, family, and loved ones are falling apart. The understanding of sexuality is at its darkest hour. The misuse of sexual energy, by way of perversion and occult power through sexual abuse, has become rampantly open now and is understood as a tool of the ruling classes, whether they are popes, priests, or presidents. Perhaps pharaohs and patriarchs and a number of other P's can be included in that category as well. Your religions, educational systems, and leaders no longer make sense, and they are devoid of compassion. Their vision of humanity is cold. It is not a warm vision. The New World Order is certainly not warm and fuzzy. The great waves of energy that move through your systems are changing each of you on a physiological level. You are being changed as a planet. This is why we, as Pleiadian kin, come to you now. As we sought to know more about ourselves, we found avenues to meet you. We began to understand that by meeting and working with you and placing a wedge of energy and attention into your world, we could understand ourselves. If there is anything we have learned in our journey through existence, it is the certainty that reality exists as a mirror. Some of you will say, yes, we know that, we have heard it before in many, many terms. What you put out is what you get back. Thought creates. You create your own reality. At this point, this is a very deep and important concept to grasp, for it is truly one of the greatest continuing laws of existence. We knew that if reality always mirrored itself and if your portal of Earth drew us, there must be something here. Over the last 10 years, in your time, we have been learning about you, teaching you, coming into your world and disseminating information that would assist you at a very crucial point in your development, where your civilization collapses. You may ask yourself, why, pray tell, is this happening? And some of you may deny this and say, civilization is not collapsing. Look, I have a bigger car, more money, perfumes and leather shoes, cashmere sweaters, trips all over the world more than ever before. Oh, that is true. Some people are sitting in the lap of luxury at this time. However, if you were to open your eyes and take a look around, you would see very few who live this way. The vast majority of people in your world have signed up for a struggle. By this we mean that they believe what they are told. They attend school, listen to their parents, or to whatever authority is extending its truth and saying, this is how it is. Although there are many reasons for such compliance, this is a characteristic of humanity, or at least one that has occurred for a long period of time. And yet, if no one has told you, dear humans, you are some of the most powerful forces tucked away in the universe's secret caches. We do not say this to get you all stirred up and certainly not to expand your egos. When you are powerful, you can destroy yourselves as easily as you can create universes. The reason we are here addressing the subject of the absurdity of your times and the fall of your civilization is because you are taking power and destroying yourselves, rather than creating universes. Many forms of life know about this power because the universe is vast, and the galaxy is abuzz with consciousness. Many of you know that you are on all the planets of your solar system. Intelligent life exists connected to star systems that hold intelligent life, and that in some form or another your solar system is not what it appears to be. The planets, as orbs of energy, exist within a particular relationship to one another, and they are planned in the same way you plan your automobiles. You do not randomly throw things together and then expect them to take you from one place to another. You have developed an understanding of certain principles and built an expanded science around the process, a science that appears to work because you believe in it. You have designed it because are powerful creators. However, if you stick to that one science, you may miss another science and then another and another and another, for there is certainly more than one science. Reality is a mirror, and anything you decide to create can work if you believe in your power and have a few tricks up your sleeve. Our intention is to offer you a few tricks of the trade, a few lessons in living so that you can move through these most tumultuous times. As family of light, you are systems busters who travel through time entering systems in need of change. You go in and facilitate the collapse of systems because you carry light. Now we ask you to question light, to ask where it comes from. How many shapes does it have? What does it do besides light your homes and streets? When light changes shape or color, when it flashes across the sky, does it shift your consciousness? When the eclipses of the sun or the moon in the afternoon or night sky hold you captive, what really happens in your being when light is altered from its normal patterns? Light, from one point of view, is information. As we share our light with you, we will engage in a mind-to-mind exchange to extend your field of perception, to explore the corridors of time through your DNA in order for you to remember the real history of your planet and yourselves. You have been taught that early humans crawled out of caves or were expelled from the garden, and they slowly evolved over a few thousand years, struggling with ice ages and discover the wheel. This is certainly not the case. You spring from an ancestral heritage that comes from the stars. You are stellar stock, and you and your planet are not here as the result of a Big Bang accident. Everything is planned, and the universe runs because it is planned. Perhaps you cannot conceive of the engineer, the designer, or the production staff. However, that does not mean they do not exist. When you were children, there were many things you could not imagine. Even now, as you fledgling adults are reaching for more, there are all kinds of stellar punctuation marks occurring in the heavens, which you cannot imagine, altering your consciousness month by month as you move into the 21st century. Actually, we are making an energetic opening for you to reach into the 21st century by assisting you to become beings of value, purpose, and complete responsibility. Your challenge at this time is to gain your freedom, and this does not mean fighting the government, the military, their mind control, or any of the other forces that appear to trap you in 3D. Although it may appear as if you are being squeezed and your individuality annihilated, there is always a bigger picture. In dealing with day-to-day living, you may find yourself questioning your sanity, your purpose, and what to do from moment to moment, overwhelmed by the whole spectrum of life. We will say to you that the picture is bigger than you can imagine, so buckle up and relax. Life on Earth includes much more than you thought, so do not get stressed out now, for there is much more to come. Our intention is to help you get through these times. Ideally, we will create openings of energy through you, so you can relax and understand who you are in this immense process of change. You may be asking yourselves, why are we Pleiadians here? Why do we do this? Well, we can tell you this. We learn from you, then learn about ourselves because reality is a mirror. You are not easily looked up on the map of existence. Can you imagine all of existence and time being simultaneous? How then do you imagine one finds you, a quarter of a millimeter of a needle in a cosmic haystack? Well, we have found you in the search to know ourselves, and we experiment with you because we understand that you and all of existence are an experiment. Everything you do is a reflection of what believe, so it is our intention to disseminate energy as ideas that you, as humankind, can perhaps use as tools for survival. It is a handy term, tools for survival. And this is what must survive, the shift from linear living into a multidimensional expression, where the fan goes from closed to open, like the ones that geisha girls and southern ladies carry. This is not an easy process to undergo, therefore we will address some of the most difficult areas. You must keep your physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual bodies tuned, and there are many ways to do this. Now here is something of importance for us to convey to you. Whenever you are finished living on the earth, you have a chance to review your life, to look back and say, look what I did on Earth. We would be most pleased to hear you say that you had gathered many golden nuggets of lessons in living, and in that regard, we would like to contribute a form of gold to you. However, this gold is more than a valuable mineral to exchange at the bank for material riches. It would be too easy for you if we were able to arrive with a truckload of gold and dump it in your backyard, saying, "Here, dear humans, is your golden light. Go cash this in." Many of you would like to just be given your truths, as you sit on your thrones and say, "Look here, I deserve it." Remember, as family of light, you go into systems to create change. You are showing the way, and oftentimes you must learn the most difficult aspects of the system before can change it. You enter a system to experience its depths in excruciating detail so that you can relate to others, your family and friends. Although the rest of the world may not think they are family of light, they all are. Everything is part of one and the same. The story we tell is the story of humankind, a story of living in the cosmos as a huge family, a family that has had its problems as all families do. This family has a branch, which we will call Family of Dark. As Family of Light, one of our intentions is to explore Family of Dark with you, the branch that hides out in the closet, the branch that everyone is ashamed of, humiliated over, and embarrassed by. To add to the confusing mix of names, labelings, and misunderstandings, your branch of Family of Light, the Systems Busters, is often considered to be the black sheep by both sides of the family. As you experience the massive opening of energy, which is indeed an infusion of light, an equal experience of looking at the dark cannot be avoided. In the world of duality where you dwell, shadow defines light, just as it does in photography. It may be that the more light you create, the more you will see the shadow that defines it. Perhaps some of you have been a bit naive, too willing to play the game, listening to those in authority and doing what you are told rather than thinking for yourselves. People are not encouraged to think. Mass programming is in effect all over the world. You are taught what to think, and you pay a good amount of money for this experience. This type of misuse of energy can only go so far before people become disconnected little boxes, compartmentalized fragments without a connection to the whole. When anything becomes fragmented in this way, it eventually collapses on itself. The part cannot stay separate from the whole for very long, only for a little while can a small part remain isolated. Do you understand? When you look at nature, plants, animals, or yourselves, you see that you cannot reproduce if you remain isolated. Because you have been fed a series of falsehoods for thousands and thousands of years, each person on Earth has become compartmentalized in what he or she believes, disconnected from real thinking and from the self and other people. At the foundation of your worldview, as light and cosmic energy arrive to affect your planet, this founding principle will begin to collapse like an ancient infrastructure built in an improper place. Structures can be viewed from the future, you know, so as to consider the generations to come. Your ancients built structures on the planet in this way that have lasted far longer than your modern buildings will, because they had a broader understanding of the cosmos. They were in contact with the heavens as well as with the earth, and they were motivated by the idea that everything is alive. They considered ether, representing spirit and the invisible realms, as a fifth element in addition to earth, air, fire, and water. We use this invisible realm to come from the Pleiades to speak to you, to electrify you, to have fun with you, to learn from you, and to transmit an energy that is yours back to you. When we look at your world from our point of view, you exist as if on a page in a book. In many ways we look you up, knowing what comes before and what goes after you. Living on the page, you have no idea, in most cases, of this broader perspective. You believe you know what happened before your time. However, you do not have the full, juicy version. When we first located you, we felt that we could assist you to perhaps enhance the pages of your book. Limited now, there are beings who exist within a very mode of thought, who feel that, when they write a book on existence, the book must stay fixed forever. From your point of view, these beings may be called gods. They exist in an abode of the deity where they have a home of their own. Within their abode they have laws and regulations, which are far more expansive than yours, but also of limited thought. This is how you became confused and surrendered your thinking in the first place. Beings that you adored, emulated, and did not question, have issued you laws that no longer further your well-being. The laws have never really worked. However, now with the mass compartmentalization of people, the gears of old Earth laws are grinding your civilization to a screeching halt. This may be seen in part as people lose jobs and have greater credit card debt than they ever had. In the process of moving faster and faster to expand yourselves and accommodate this shift in energy, you are losing touch with practical living and common sense. We said earlier that freedom is at stake. Your freedom is based upon your responsibility. 2 words, your ability to respond to what is happening in your world. If you cannot manage 3D, you will never make it in multi-D. Many of you think managing 3D requires going faster, having more technology, knowing more people, and rushing here and there. As things go faster, slow down and put yourself at ease. Take time to listen to the birds, the sounds of nature, the crackling of a fire, the natural sounds. Get outdoors. Be by yourself. Take time for yourself and learn to expand your awareness and to hear a voice inside. Then be certain to question that voice and all that the voice brings. When you begin to open the fan of yourself, with respect to these voices in your head, an opening to the abstract occurs. Humankind has long been deflected from thinking in abstract, non-linear terms. Living nowadays is quite solidified and linear. Yet you rob yourself of a great venue of experience, a necessary frontier for masses of you to become artists within. Many people must create a new high art of thinking in order to translate the changes that are coming. The ancient Egyptians called the voice in the head the Ka. It was considered to be a double, or another version of the self used for guidance and inspiration. This concept is very different from the idea of possession. For now, we want to set a tone of inspiration and inform you that on this journey with us you are to activate this mysterious concept called the Ka. Because you no longer experience or seek out the abstract, this little-known aspect of human development has been forgotten. Yet the abstract knocks on your door today, asking you to reach beyond yourself. In many ways, the internet mirrors the link-up of your inner psychic highways and byways. Reach for guidance. Reach for your inheritance, because this voice, the Ka, this inspiration is yours. You must learn to claim your inheritance in this most absurd of times. The Ka will help you to shift between linear and multidimensional living. It is an important key to knowing yourself, an essential tool for survival. Do not forget it. As your system collapses and familiar comforts disappear very rapidly in the next few years, there will be an equal amount of opportunities and reappearances. A force of psychic spiritual energy will explode, creating many rapid changes on a planetary scale. These changes will herald a new way of thinking and perceiving, where you will link up as one humanity. For a while it will look like the link-ups are happening on the internet, where up to a certain point in time it will appear that you are more and more electronically linked. Many of you holdbacks and electronic teetotalers will slowly creep forward and decide to get an internet connection. However, because of unknown plans, great energy surges and geophysical earth changes are occurring at a rapid rate, and your electronic grids will break down. Many of you will find yourselves in the situation of here today, gone tomorrow. Will there be electricity? Will there even be food and water? As this decade closes, some of you will have 1 or 2 week bouts without a ready supply of food, electricity, and water. Changes may then begin to accelerate. Everything you do now, every day and every moment, counts. You have been told that life is an accident and holds no meaning. We are telling you the exact opposite. The big engineer in the sky makes everything work, otherwise life comes to a screeching halt, and if and when that happens, it just means an overhaul is taking place. This is what is happening in your world. You are getting an overhaul, which does not imply that everyone's life will come to a halt. It means that whomever or whatever you have placed in positions of authority, be they governments, religious leaders, educational systems, kings, priests, popes, or presidents, their power will now be questioned. This is a time when power will return to the people. You will have to claim for yourself attributes that few know about. Remember, in the cosmic annals you are seen as extraordinarily powerful beings, as creations of the gods. You are the ace up their sleeve, created genetically eons ago and stored away, tucked away for that just-in-case time, and in many ways you have been secreted in the corridors of time. In the big book of existence, it is hard to find you, however you have been found. Your time coordinates are known, and now many are coming to your world because they all know there is a vein of gold here, and some will trick and entice you with their distractions. Be very selective of what you choose to think, and believe in yourself as you unfold your fan of consciousness. Perhaps you will then understand that the great infusion of energy from the heavens is going to shine on a pot of gold inside of you. As family of light, you are quite simply decoding and unfolding to what is already inside you, and as your family and kin, we will keep you company for a while and remind you of this process. We will support and encourage you, be good friends, and perhaps occasionally offer a shoulder to cry on. For the tears you will shed unveil mysteries and deeper feelings. No tears of pity or blame though, for they are foolish tears. The unveiling tears are healing, and you may experience them again and again as you read our words and melt away the rigid control that has kept you from thinking and understanding who you are. The power you have within you was given to you by the gods when they wove your DNA together eons ago. You will now have to figure out why the heavens are full of visitors. Who are they? Are they the creator gods? Extraterrestrials, aliens, and other forms of intelligence are coming forth through every version of reality. You are going to live with this experience, although the idea that other forms of intelligence can readily appear anywhere at any time will totally shatter your linear worldview. Remember, your linear world is based on a calendar, one that is not very old, and even an ancient calendar like the Mayas is still a time construct. Time is actually organized and constructed around a theme, which is set into motion and then remains consistent enough to create a thought form that maps it and makes a virtual reality. Time is elastic, and your experience of time is certainly not the same as the time we Pleiadians experience. We can scan the book of time and travel through time by picking coordinates. Time jumping. You must understand this concept, then learn to become a time jumper, first in your mind, then literally. The corridor is open, and it is important to understand that every lesson and experience in day-to-day living is to help the decoding of yourself as a galactic resident, and, most important, as a human being. At this time, your most important task is to live. Do you understand? To want to live and to create a continuity in living will be in itself a challenge. The more are going to find out. This wave of energy is waking you up psychically, triggering a perceptual shift, which makes you aware of so much more on many different levels. One of the greatest challenges you face is to understand how the mind works. We said that. We will convey thought to you, mind to mind. You are, of course, telepathically expanding. Many people are very good at it while some people cannot imagine it ever working, yet you are born with this ability. If you cultivated it, you would be far more as we have said, the abode of the deity is the home of limited thinking. The deity, or that which you worship, always gives you limited thinking so you can be managed. The gods cavorted in the heavens, gallivanted around the universe, came to Earth to mate with the daughters and sons of humans, and then they left. Your literature is full of these stories. They left their kin, their progeny, and their bloodline behind to rule. Their children did not necessarily relate to you humans, so they set up priesthoods and militaries to control you and make you obey. During the feudal times of the Dark Ages, humans were locked in many limiting forms, and you are still today, although the forms that lock you in are invisible. You are not tried by inquisitions, nor are you pilloried or burned at the stake. A very subversive way exists in which you are controlled, very covert, so covert that it is unrecognizable by a large majority of those who are quite happy to be told what to think. Now this is going to be very disturbing and hard for some people to integrate, yet it is one of your greatest opportunities. Sometimes the darkest challenges, the most difficult lessons, hold the greatest gems of light. Mind control will first be understood on your planet from the negative side, from a very, very dark avenue. And from that understanding you will spring into a very great light, a new dawning in the art of thinking, birthing a renaissance of being. Many people will come forward and speak about how the human mind is being manipulated. The truth, you may then begin to understand how the gods have played the same game. And perhaps it is the gods themselves who manipulate certain humans, who then manipulate the rest of you, who are in turn the sheep who obey, who are always on time, and who die according to the official rules. This is going to stop. As you learn about how you have been controlled and influenced, you will see how easy it is to feed you data. Whether it is through electronic repetition or dark, black, occult misuse of power through sexuality, cannibalism, and murders, all kinds of ways exist to fragment and compartmentalize humans. You must use your mind as a tool because it is a field where you create. As we have said, everything is a mirror, and that is one truth that we bring to you as we tell you tales of existence. Our ancestors learned that reality mirrors to you what you are, so remember. Remember. You are taught that you are alone in existence so that you will be more manageable. Isolated, you cannot compare your world to another. If you were to visit another world and discover they had the same God, you might check to see how God treated that world compared to how you are being treated. Perhaps you would find a different God there and decide you like that God better. Or perhaps you would find there was no God at all, that the people were gods themselves. In isolation, you are deprived of expanding your experiences. Focused in linear time, with very third-dimensional, tactile experiences, you have shut yourself off from your psychic connection. As children, if you had psychic and out-of-the-body experiences and were able to time travel and see other vistas and other worlds, you were terrified that people would think you were crazy. You were afraid of being locked up or punished. Oftentimes you were told to hush up, not to say a word, because such things were not accepted. Why were they not accepted? Perhaps because that kind of power sets people free. For those of you who have had these experiences, it is time for you to value them, to realize that as family of light you are already rich. No one needs to grant you anything. You are already wealthy, and you can share that wealth with your fellow humans, your family. You may feel you are family of light, a certain kind of renegade, part of a different group of people all wondering, how did I come to Earth? I feel galactic, stellar. I feel universal. I have never felt at home here. My family was odd. I couldn't get into the regular practices of living. I always looked to the heavens, always saw creatures. They came to my room at night to visit me. Well, family of light has many strange tales to tell. Because many of the visitors are shape-shifters, you have not been able to categorize and name them, which is, of course, your 3D linear approach. Your science says name it, label it, give it a genus and species, then dissect it to know it. With the collapse of civilization and the expansion of consciousness into multidimensional living, your perceptions are the tools you will use to dissect, know, label, explore, and list your reality. Your perceptions are derived from your feelings and your ability to be yourself, to own and trust yourself, and to say what you feel, even when it may be diametrically opposed to everyone else's opinion. You may be called the devil incarnate. You may feel like cow pies are being thrown at you. Sometimes that is part of being true to yourself, but as humans you have given this up. As we see it, if family of light is now here on Earth claiming a home, then you are certainly going to electrify the whole planet with new energy. One day everyone will be thinking, in one way or another, that they are all family of light. Even your scientists will agree that matter is simply trapped light, which suggests that you are all family of light as we explore our stories, that we tell the reason why dark and are all related to family of dark. We will make certain, does what it does, and why family of light may disguise as we speak of mind control. You may say, oh, it must be itself as dark, or dark may disguise itself as light. Perhaps, family of dark that is doing mind control to humans. Who else would do this? It could not be family of light, could it? Now remember, we are asking you to question light. Who owns light? Where does it come from? How was it generated? What kind is it? What color? What flavor? What does it do? What temperature is it? How does it make you are here to do as family of light? Some of you feel our stories are really about healing because this is what you think, that you are stellar visitors here to educate others, to raise their vibration, and to say, hey, here's your system, it's collapsing. Here are some new ideas, and then we are out of here. For a while family of light has done this disappearing act, its members jumping from one place to another, often so involved in their assignments that they forget to live. Well, family of light, because you have been so involved in your assignments, we are here to remind you at this time to live like you have never lived before. In living you truly fulfill your assignment, because in living there is doing, creating, and then experiencing what you create, receiving the richness. Unlike the farmer in the garden who grows fine produce, then picks, prepares, and cooks the crop, and then sits down at a magnificent feast to enjoy the fruits of that labor, you, as family of light, have forgotten to sit down often enough and feast. You are so busy doing and creating that you are forgetting the wealth of living, of being in the now, the ultimate richness of being alive. It is this richness we want to remind you that you are missing. Many of the lessons, the tasks, and challenges you are now experiencing in day-to-day life, in your body, in your relationships, in dealing with the world, are about finding the value in living. What do you value? What is important? What is character? What do morals mean to you? What is integrity? Much of what we explore will be about your integrity, your responsibility, and how they are tied into your freedom as your world goes belly up in these most absurd of times.